Do you ever find yourself putting on 20 alarm clocks on your phone and never waking up to a single one of them? Do you ever find yourself having to steal someone's bike so you can make it on time for your class on Bush? Or how about riding one of those horses on Cook Douglas to get to your class on Lippman Hall? If you said yes, then the following video might be representative of a typical Tuesday morning for you when you're late for your classes.
Wait.
No! God, please, no! Pull back!
Right there.
See, being late for class is a college epidemic, and students are extremely creative when coming up with excuses. I'm sure you're familiar with many here at Rutgers, and have probably used most of these. However, for the sake of this presentation, we narrowed down the top reasons why Rutgers students are late to class. They include, I overslept, I just didn't care enough, I got lost, and I got stuck in traffic. Let's talk about the first reason, I overslept. College students are always talking about how little sleep they get on a daily basis. Unfortunately, this toxic behavior leaves many students to oversleep past their alarm. Whether you pulled an all-nighter for your essay due the next morning, or stayed up till 5 a.m. partying it up in a gross frat house, college students are notorious for staying up late and waking up late. However, our bodies need sleep to function, and any lack of sleep can severely disrupt the flow of our day. According to the University of Georgia, college students have an average of 5 to 6 hours of sleep. In general, college students get little sleep during the week due to tackling the stress of upcoming exams, essays, projects, as well as managing other extracurricular activities. In order to combat this lack of sleep, students oversleep on the weekend in an effort to, quote-unquote, catch up on their sleep. In fact, sleep deprivation in school is pretty common, that according to the U.S. National Institutes of Health, around 50% of students report daytime sleepiness, and 70% attain insufficient sleep. Now, while some students can finesse their way into getting to a class that they thought they were going to be late to, that isn't the case here at Rutgers. If a student has a class on a different campus, like Bush, than the campus they live on, like maybe Cook, most students need to wake up earlier than expected just to use the bus system. For Rutgers students, who are the typical morning birds, this reality is definitely a daily struggle. If you overslept and have a class on a different campus, you have to do quick maths to see what's the latest possible bus time you could get and be on time for class. Unfortunately, the Rutgers bus schedule and system is very unpredictable, leading for many students to regularly be late for class if they don't plan in advance and if they don't get lucky.
Sadly, the truth is that many college students feed into this idea that classes are not of huge value during their time in college. According to an article from MIT faculty newsletter entitled, "Why Students Don't Attend Class," one student voiced that the absolute most important thing is if I feel that I am learning something in the class. If I'm not learning, why go? Unfortunately, Many college students don't realize all the resources, time, and money wasted if they don't attend class. They don't see the long-term effect of not caring about going to class because it affects their grades. The chart illustrates how college students spend their time, and it is based on full 7-day week on spring 2007. Attending class and lab is 9%, while studying is 7%. That is only 16% in total that relates to schoolwork. College students are heavily focused on other things like working, volunteering, Greek life, and clubs. To add on to that point, if students are taking courses that are interesting to them, they will attend those classes more than classes that bore them. Also, some students only care about the grade they get for the class. For example, according to an interview with a student from Rutgers, sociology is one of the most popular classes that students skip. The reason was because it's boring and didn't care about the course. The student found that she often found it easier to study in their own time because the lectures are strictly all on the PowerPoint that the professor posts on Sakai. This shows how students just want the A more than wanting to learn the actual concepts of the course.
The third reason why you may be late is the fact that I may have encountered unexpected things. Like what? For example, you may get lost. You think that, oh, only freshmen get lost. How would I ever get lost as upperclassmen? Of course, you're right in the fact that freshmen do get lost. According to all of your first year advising websites like College Raptor, number one mistake for freshmen are the fact that you're gonna get lost. And you will never find your class because of that reason. But to you, the listener, you're like, wait, I've been here for 3 months now at least, and where I'm an upperclassman, I know this place. I know Rutgers, right? Now, the reality is, yeah, no. What? Like, for example, where's Roofdale Johnson Cricket Building? You'll probably be like, wait, what? What is that? Trust me, I have no idea too. It's somewhere on Cook Dug. That's where I know. According to Rutgers Facts and Figures, there are over 640 buildings in Rutgers, New Brunswick, and there's no way you can find this crumbling building on Cook Dug. Thus, adding on that 4-hour sleep you got last night, it'll be a miracle you're actually going to attend that lecture or not getting lost. One of your essential Scarlet Knight experience is the fact that you're gonna experience something called referendum. As you guys may know, at the start of the semester, the NJ Perg were out there searching for people to vote for them, spreading their evil influence and infiltrating this 2,700-acre campus, and you can never escape their claws and their voice. According to the Facebook group, Are You Revolutionary for College Memes, one of the users was going to be late in class, and then this referendum canvasser just came up and asked him, hey, can you vote? He wanted to dodge them, but he couldn't. He was forced to stay and talk with them for 5 minutes. And he lost that precious 5 minutes, and now he's late because of the referendum canvassers talking and essentially dragging him to not go to class. And this is just your Rutgers experience. Congratulations.
So what else can drive students to be late to class? A fourth reason that students may be late to class is that there is too much traffic on the way to school. Many students are commuters and own cars, and all of them take Rutgers buses. In fact, according to Rutgers' own website, About 56% of undergraduates commute in New Brunswick and are thus affected by traffic on the way to Rutgers. If students have their classes around rush hour, it can also be a nightmare to get to class on time. If you look at the following schedule, you'll note that this student's school day for the entire week starts at around 10 o'clock in the morning. Rush hour is about 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, which means that if a student lives a half hour away from Rutgers and takes another half hour to get to class via buses, then he'll need to drive to school at around 9, which is in the middle of rush hour. Of course, buses themselves are susceptible to traffic. For instance, there's one example where over 20 buses were piled up on College Avenue, which resulted in several students being unable to make class on time, if at all. Buses are especially a problem when they are stuck in traffic, as they are one of the most reasonable options to use to travel across campuses, especially if you're not including walking. Of course, these points are merely facts and don't truly convey the impact that these roadblocks hold for the student's mentality. To gain a more insightful look at how traffic affects student morale, I've asked a few classmates about their experiences. So, as a Rutgers student, how is your experience with traffic?
Well, traffic's not really that great here. A lot of the times on like Route 18, it's just a lot of traffic. Sometimes there's like accidents, and like it's just in the wintertime when it's snowing, it gets real bad. It like gets backed up for like 30 minutes. I had to miss an exam because of this.
So the traffic in and out of Cook can get really bad at around rush hour. It makes the long commute, already long commute, even longer. Sometimes it gets so bad they have to take an alternate route, and that makes it really hard for students to plan ahead of time and get to class on time. I was late for so many classes when I was living in Cook.
So, how do you feel about traffic on Rutgers?
Well, like I said before, man, it kind of sucks sometimes, man. It just sucks.
It's pretty frustrating, especially for students to try to plan around it. And if they want to be on time, sometimes you'll have to start your day really early in order to get places in time.
Clearly, these students are not happy about their experiences with Rutgers traffic. This feeds back into how motivated students are to attend class. Even though they may wake up extremely early for the classes, due to factors outside their control, they might still be late for class.
In conclusion, we explored numerous reasons why Rutgers students specifically can be late to class. First, it's very easy to sleep on the bus for sleep-deprived college students. Second, students may mix up the date and think that it is another day, skipping class completely. Third, Rutgers is a huge campus and it's easy to walk the wrong path and be late to your class. Fourth, you've encountered many different things, like the referendum. Last but not least, traffic on Route 18 can certainly delay students from going to class, as traffic tends to clog on that busy route.
Obviously, students should avoid skipping classes, as they are necessary for academic success. However, due to unexpected and uncontrollable circumstances, it is understandable that students will not be able to make every single class. But it is also important for students to take measures to ensure that they can take into account these unexpected circumstances. Wake up an hour early so you can scout the campus, predict the traffic, and most important of all, be prepared for anything, and don't beat yourself up for mistakes outside of your control. Thank you for listening.